Let's get to tennis, where Carlos Alcaraz is on to the next round at Wimbledon after beating Andre Rublev in 4 sets. The Spaniard lost the first set before reeling off 3 in a row. That's now 18 consecutive wins for him at the All England Club, and he'll play Cam Norrie in 2 days' time in the quarterfinals. Let's welcome in Brad Gilbert there from England, giving us the lowdown on Wimbledon. So, Brad, what was the difference in the first set for Carlos Alcaraz, and then how was he able to turn things around the rest of the way?
Tommy, good evening from Wimbledon, afternoon for you. Rublev was throwing the kitchen sink at Alcaraz in the first set, and he was able to snatch that first set breaker from 5-3 down, and he played some unbelievable inspired tennis. But as Alcaraz has done a little bit in this tournament, you had to go 5 sets first round, dug down deep, and just electrified the crowd. Came up with some great defense, some amazing offense, and he hit one of the most electric passing shots at 3-all in the third set to send the crowd in a tizzy, and he just won the bigger points. But Rublev didn't lose it. It was Alcaraz won it, and it was a really high-quality match.
We're taking a look at the bracket. We started the top half where Jannik Sinner certainly sits there. We're now taking a look at Alcaraz down at the bottom. Interestingly enough, with Carlos Alcaraz, you mentioned that opening round match with Fabio Fognino, and not to say that Carlos Alcaraz is supposed to win every match in straight sets, Brad, but from what you've seen from him, are there pieces at times that he's shown a little bit of vulnerability in this tournament?
The amazing thing is, he finds a way. That's 22 matches in a row he's won. He's trying to be the second player in the Open era, which started in 1968, to win the European double, the French and Wimbledon, 2 consecutive years. Bjorn Borg did it 3 consecutive years in the 70s. So he's in rarefied air, and he's one of these guys that once you get to the business end of the tournament, he finds a way to get better. And obviously, next up is a Brit in Cam Norrie. The crowd will be a factor, but I love the way that Alcaraz finds a way. And how about the American? After 2 5-setters to start the tournament, Taylor Fritz starting to look a lot better, and I really like his chances against the Russian in the quarters. He is 0-2 head-to-head against, I call him Silent K, Khachanov. I think it's a great opportunity for Taylor Fritz to make his first semifinal. It's the 3rd time in 4 years now he's made the quarterfinals here.
How does a player like Taylor Fritz handle a match in which his opponent retires early?
You know what? It's like every once in a while in a baseball game, you take a 5-inning win. One of those, you're up 9, it was raining, you get the win. But his opponent, the Aussie Thompson, looked like right from the get-go he couldn't split, he couldn't really, he had no explosive movement. And it was, every once in a while for a basketball game, you have the light shoot-around. You have that early morning shoot-around, and listen, you take it. It's not great for the fans, but considering how much tennis Fritz has played, it was welcome relief, and now he get ready to, play his next match, a much tougher opponent.
On the women's side, what's the evaluation of Aryna Sabalenka today?
I thought Sabalenka was pushed. Her former doubles partner, who she won 2 double majors with, Mertens, and I thought that she had to really raise her level. Mertens played really well, but the draw is massively shaping up for Sabalenka. She's only made it 1 semifinal here, and of the remaining players, none have ever made a finals of this tournament before. I love her chances. She now plays Siegmann, a 37-year-old German. Listen, she's having an unbelievable tournament, but you couldn't ask for a better draw. That's a good draw, first round, second round, let alone quarters. So I think it's a great opportunity for Sabalenka to make another semifinals, and she's my pick on that top half of the draw, the way things are going at the moment.
Yeah, and both of those players were able to get it done in straight sets. For Amanda Anisimova, it did take 3. Brad, what was it required from her to come away with the victory?
And Amanda is playing some really good ball. She's a good ball striker, and she really plays offense against a Navaska, who is a very similar type player, indoor conditions and, some big hitting. But that is a quality win from Amanda to make a quarterfinals here. And now she plays Paula Jemikova, which I think is a great chance for her to make her first semifinals here. So I could really see Anisimova, Sabalenka semifinals on Thursday. That's what I got now written in my draw.
As we get ready for the next day, let's just stay on the women's side here. What interests you the most about the women's draw on Monday here stateside?
A huge matchup. We've had so many upsets in this one section, seeds held. Emma Navarro, who got to the quarters here last year, is playing Mira Andreeva, who's 18 years old, the 7th seed, the Russian, very talented. I think the winner of that has a great shot to get to the semifinals. Swiatek on the bottom there, I think she's going to get to the semifinals. So I think this is a huge match. I like the way Navarro's playing, so I think upset alert is a good possibility. Remember, she beat Coco Gauff here last year, got to the semifinals of the U.S. Open. So she's a big match player, won the NCAAs for University of Virginia. So we got some interesting matchups, but I really like the way she's playing. And I think Swiatek, who's never really played that well here on the grass, I think she's flying under the radar. And I think she's headed for her first semifinals here at Wimbledon.
And on the men's side, we talked about Carlos Alcaraz. Both he and Jannik Sinner are essentially co-favorites from odds makers, and Novak Djokovic not too far behind. Sinner, Djokovic in action, Ben Shelton also in action. What's sort of the lowdown in terms of your thoughts for these matches?
Considering all the upsets we had, you look at that schedule, that's a great card for the men's. How about Cilic, the 36-year-old, kind of the forgotten one, once made the finals here at Wimbledon. Great opportunity for him. But Novak Djokovic, I think, will be tested by Alex de Minaur. He goes by the Little Demon. That should be an interesting match. And interesting, they were supposed to play in the quarterfinals here last year, but on match point, de Minaur dove, hurt his hip while winning the match, and had to default. He could not play the match in the quarterfinals. And I think a great opportunity for Ben Shelton to make his first quarterfinals. And I think the way Sinner's playing against Dimitrov, who's a quality player, I think Sinner, we're headed for a Sinner-Shelton quarter. And I think that's one of those matches that's like must-see TV, because Ben Shelton, he's electric. But at the moment, I still feel like at the start of the tournament, it was Sinner and Alcaraz versus the field. I still say that. Djokovic is playing great ball, but I think we're really headed for some interesting stories in the second week.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. An action-packed Monday as we're anticipating, and a wrap-up here on Sunday from Brad Gilbert. Brad, certainly appreciated, again, taking a look at the Monday Wimbledon singles matches. I mentioned how Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner were essentially co-favorites. There's a little bit of discrepancy now. Plus 120 for the Spaniard, the Italian plus 155, and Novak Djokovic behind at plus 470.